talked about it in the last trade video, what, a week ago? Something like that, maybe a little bit longer than that. That the Leafs needed to get another defenseman. That was kind of like the last piece that the Leafs needed to get was a D-man. Well, they did it. They go out there and they acquire Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty. So they get a forward as well from the Chicago Blackhawks and 2 conditional 5th-round picks in 2024 and 2025. So, in exchange for Joey Anderson, Pavel Gogolev, a conditional 1st-round pick in 2025, and a 2nd-round pick in 2026. First thing people are going to ask, what are the conditions? Well, I don't know the 4th and the 5th the Leafs got, but it really doesn't matter at this point because those picks aren't for a couple of years, and they're 5ths. But the condition on the Leafs' 1st-round pick is that it's top 10 protected. And look, let's be honest. By 2025, we don't expect the Leafs to be in the bottom 10 of the league. You don't expect that. However, you put the condition on it just in case something happens. God forbid Matthews or Marner leave. God forbid, touch wood, injuries don't be a crazy thing in the year of, 2024, 2025 season, and then the Leafs somehow don't make the playoffs and bottom out, right? You never know. So you put the condition on it, fine. Great. It's some added security. So there's the deal. I think the Leafs did a phenomenal job. They got their defenseman, a guy who's going to play top 4. He's going to play 20 minutes a night. You got a depth guy in Sam Lafferty who's going to be playing on your 3rd or 4th line, who can score a little bit and can lay the body when he needs to. He can fight a little bit as well. I think he has 7 fights. Was it this season or in his career? I can't remember what it is. But you got 2 guys that are going to make a very big impact on this team moving forward. Kyle Dubas is all in. But what's great about this deal, not only did you not really give up an insane amount, because players-wise, Gogolev and Joey Anderson, the 1st-round pick, sure, but it's top 10 protected, so you got that little bit of security. And a 2nd-round pick 3 years from now. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't right now. I love it. And what does Jake McCabe bring? Well, first off, contract-wise, the Chicago Blackhawks retained 50% of his salary. But it's not like he's a rental either. He's got this year, next year, and the year after that. So the Leafs have him for 3 playoff runs. And with them retaining 50% of his salary, he's only making $2 million for those 3 seasons. That's a phenomenal job. And Sam Lafferty, he ain't no rental either. You got him, and he's making 1 point something, I'm guessing. So I think I heard that somewhere. And he's signed through next year. Phenomenal deal from Kyle Dubas. And honestly, with what we've been seeing with assets and what the Bruins gave up and what the Tampa Bay Lightning had to give up for Tanner Jeannot, and then people kind of backtracked on the O'Reilly thing, and people were like, "Oh, maybe that wasn't a bad deal for the Leafs then." The last deal, the O'Reilly and Nolachari deal, and then you come to this, and all you trade is a conditional 2025 1st-round pick, a 2nd in 2026. And 2 players who are probably never going to impact this Leaf team. And you get 3 years of McCabe, and at the very least 2 years of Lafferty. Outstanding stuff. The question now is, where are they going to fit? Right? What is that D-core going to look like now? Well, you assume it's going to be Riley Brody, right? Let's move down. So I think it's going to be Jake McCabe, Timothy Liljegren. That's your second, your top 4. And then your top 6, your bottom 2 defensemen. Gio. And then you got a couple of question marks. Do you go Justin Hall? Do you go Rasmus Sandin? one of the two guys is not going to be playing come playoffs, at least from what I'm putting down, right? Those are the two guys that I'm leaving out. I'd be baffled if they leave any of the other guys. I'd be shocked if Timothy Liljegren's not there. I'd be shocked if Gio's not there. I don't see that happening, but you never know. So that being the case, that's an extra D-man you got sitting there as either depth or a possible move, because when or if Matt Murray comes off the LTIR, the Leafs will be over the cap. And that can't happen. So something's got to give here. Either Samsonov and Joseph Wall are your goaltenders the rest of the season, come playoff time, and maybe you bring Matt Murray back for that, but as a backup. But even then, I wouldn't want that because he hasn't played in months. Or some money's moving out. Whether that's Justin Hall, whether that's Rasmus Sandin, I can't see them moving off of either of those guys because you want that depth on D heading into the playoffs. Well, you've added Ryan O'Reilly, Noel Acciari, and Sam Lafferty now. Well, it makes... And if Matthew Nyes is going to make that jump, it's an if. I mean, with all these additions, I don't know if that's going to work now, but we'll see. With him possibly coming and Sam Lafferty on his way, you got too many guys. And if you need to move money out, the two guys that I can think of that are making somewhat money on the bottom six is Alex Kerfoot and Pierre Engvall. I've made it very clear, I'm not an Engvall guy. I'm just not. He's never scored a playoff game in 17 games for the Leafs. He doesn't hit anybody. What does he do? You've now brought in guys. Let's say Ryan O'Reilly's your third line center. He's a guy who does stuff. Noel Acciari does stuff. David Kampf does stuff. You've now brought in Sam Lafferty. He does stuff. What does Pierre Engvall do? Just my thought. At least Alex Kerfoot kills penalties and is a sound defensive player and all that stuff. Fine. But if Matt Murray's going to be in this goal at some point down the stretch, you got to find money for it. We'll see how it goes, though, Leaf fans. I love the deal. I assume you guys do, too. I've been looking all over social media, listening to podcasts. Everyone's raving about the deal, which is baffling because I don't know how many times I've heard people just rip Kyle Dubas and that people just love to do it. It's a great deal for the Leafs. It makes me scared to no end for the playoffs because my hopes are getting higher. And I hate it. Because it usually means things fall apart and die. However, we have not seen the Leafs do this before. In all the years Kyle Dubas has been a Leafs GM in these playoff failures. This has never happened. Sure, you've traded a first for Nick Foligno. That's it. You traded for Thomas Plekanec in that first year. Sure. You make all these one-player trades. The Leafs have acquired 4 new guys in the past couple weeks. They're going for it. Question is, will it work? All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are jacked up to see these new additions probably tomorrow in Edmonton, smack that like button. Do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you guys not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the trade. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know down below. The Twitter and Instagram links are down below, so follow up, send me DM, guys, all that great stuff. The Discord link, is down below. So follow up there, you guys, if you've not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Jays Edition Wednesday, wrapping up the spring training games to this point. Raptors Edition tomorrow night as they host Chicago Bulls at Scotiabank Arena at 7:30. And as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're back in action tomorrow night. Wednesday night, in Edmonton. 8 p.m. puck drop there. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the trade today. We'll talk to you guys then.